What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, early in the morning.
All right, well, I'm about ready to head out on a run this morning, and the last run I did, I used my Insta360 to record it, and it allowed me to sort of narrate what I was doing as I was doing it. And one of the reasons I was doing that was that I thought that by me running and talking into the camera as I'm running would help me stay within my zone 2 running. And as it turned out, I ended up, spending most of my time in zone 3. So, but today's run, I'm going to do my best to stay, really keep my pace down, so I stay within that zone 2 as much as I can. And also, just to make things interesting, I'm not going to be using my Insta360 camera. I know that I refer to myself as Goofy Bill in my videos, just because I'm a goofy guy. But I'm also kind of geeky, and I like playing around with the Insta360 cameras and well, doing this YouTube stuff. That's kind of geeky anyway. But anyway, today I'm going to use this little GoPro-like camera to do a time lapse of my run. That way, I think I'm gonna try to run about 5 miles today, just in zone 2, and that would take several minutes. I'm guessing maybe about 45 minutes or so. But by doing time lapse, I'll be able to record the whole thing, and it won't take that long. And you'll be able to see pretty much a typical route that I take here near my home here in San Miguel de Allende. So let's get out and see how this camera works and see if I can keep it in zone 2 today. Okay, let's take a look and see how this time lapse turned out. So yeah, I just take off right in front of my house here. It's actually really choppy because I probably didn't have the settings quite right on this, but this will give you an idea of what my typical run looks like here in my neighborhood. I'm actually just sort of heading out of my neighborhood now, and towards actually I run down to the little intersection here where there's an AutoZone and pharmacy and stuff, and do a little U-turn just to get in about another quarter mile of my runs. But in a minute here, I'll turn off onto a dirt road, and so most of my running is going to be on either a dirt road or trails. So it makes it a little bit more interesting. So yeah, now that I've done my run and looked at my Garmin and everything, I still, even though it seemed like I was running awfully slow, I still looks like I spent most of my time in zone 3. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to work on trying to figure out how to stay down in the zone 2. I think what I'm going to have to do, because it all boils down to a combination of your cadence and your stride length. And I already feel like my stride length is sort of like a version of the old man shuffle, and my cadence is usually anywhere between like 175 to 180. And I think that's kind of a desirable cadence, but I think if I'm going to stay in zone 2, I think I'm going to have to maybe just slow down my cadence a little bit. Yeah, I mean, most of my time was in zone 3, and those are zones, so I don't know if I was at the high end or the low end. I might have been actually very close to zone 2, but just my heart rate was just up high enough to get me into zone 3. I don't know. So I definitely need to keep working on this zone 2 training. I'm here right now on the trail. I'm sort of in one of my favorite parks, which is really just a trail and lots of foliage and stuff like that. Makes for fun hiking. So yeah, and then I just passed what's the botanical garden in there, and people will go in there and run sometimes, and I've been in there and done mainly just some hiking, but you have to check in when you go in there and everything, so it sort of would mess up my run if I wanted to go in there. So yeah, here I am, and yeah, I think what I'm going to do, I did run just a little bit over 5 miles today, and it seemed like a fairly easy run. Now, once I got to the end, once I got to about the last half mile or so, I always just sort of pick it up just because it's kind of fun to, to do a stride, and get, you know, nice good pace in right towards the end. But yeah, my pace was I thought really slow, and it was 11. I think it was an 11:20 pace. I'll have to go back and check my Garmin. The overall pace was 11:20. I started off, I think, at about 11:45, and then the next 2 miles, the first mile was I think 11:45, and then the next 2 miles were actually a couple seconds slower than that. Now, my last mile, like I said, I can sort of smell the barn when I know I'm getting near the end of my run, and I sort of naturally pick it up a little bit. And then when I know I'm within the last half mile, I pick it up even more because I don't care about what zone I'm in. I want to get my heart rate up and get a good run in. Once I get to about that within a half mile of the end, and so yeah. Yeah, let's just look at I'm almost. I'm on the last mile right now. In fact, I'm heading into about the last half mile. So at about, because I'm back at where the auto zone was, that intersection there. And now I'm heading back towards my neighborhood, and so now I'm probably starting to pick it up a little bit, just because I know I'm almost home. So, and I know that looking at my watch, I know that I won't quite reach 5 miles. So I do a little detour down another street of my neighborhood, and then do a U-turn back right here, and then in a second here I'll turn into turning into what's my neighborhood now. And yeah, so now I'm really pushing, especially this part is a downhill, so I really push it right there. So, and now I'm home. Okay, yeah, so I've got about, I guess, 4.5 months until I head down to Mexico City to run the rock and roll half marathon down there. Yeah, I still got, a good bit of time to do some training and maybe get in a little bit better condition. Before then, I guess I'm about maybe 4 weeks away from heading up to Dallas, where I'm going to run a little 5K there. And after I run that, I think I should have a really pretty good idea how my training is going, and what kind of time I think I might be able to do once I get down to Mexico City to run that half marathon. Just exactly what my conditioning might be. But yeah, I'm still working on trying to do this zone 2 training, which everybody's telling me is really important. So I'm going to try to do that as much as possible. I haven't really been doing anything what I would necessarily classify as a long run just yet. In fact, like the 5 miles I did today, in the last few years, that's been about the longest run I would ever do. So I'll start picking it up real gradually. Like I said, I've got 4.5 months to get up to the half marathon distance. So I've got time to do that, and I'll do that very gradually. And my number one objective is try to get into good shape and avoiding any injuries. So I want to do everything, increase my mileage very gradually, and try to do more of that zone 2 training. I think that's what is really going to help prevent injuries and things like that. And so probably in another week or two I'll start to working in increasing my mileage and start doing like a long run once a week, and then just sort of some base miles in zone 2, and then do some sort of speed workout, either some strides or some intermittent intervals, or there's plenty of hills around here for me to do some hill work to build up my strength. So yeah, I think I'm in pretty good shape. So it'll be interesting to see how all this goes. So happy trails.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor?